Good morning and welcome to your daily morning horoscope for Thursday, June 26, 2025, Aries. People aren't going to be quite as intense as you require them to be today. Things are light and airy and you might find that no one is in the mood to delve as deeply as you want to go. Use the day to relax and release control for a while. Take deep breaths and long walks. Go for a bike ride or short road trip. Crazy unexpected events may crop up throughout the day, so be prepared for surprises. Taurus, it may be hard for you to make a decision about anything today. Things may seem wishy-washy and unclear. Don't worry about that. There is plenty of air to fuel your fire. Be aware that people may pop up from the past and unexpected events may disrupt the flow throughout the day. Best laid plans are apt to be broken. Don't sweat. Just go with the flow. Gemini, things probably aren't going to go exactly as you planned it today. Realize that people may act in erratic, powerful bursts, especially when it comes to emotional issues. Your feelings may be a bit distant and you may find it hard to get in touch with what's really going on inside you. Do your best to maintain a positive attitude. That's all anyone could ask. Cancer, today is an excellent day for you. Events will flow quite smoothly and the only thing to be aware of is your emotions may seem rather erratic and unwieldy. There's a great deal of power behind your words and people are sure to listen. They would be smart to do so. What you have to say would be right on target with today's energy. Leo, you may be indecisive today and you may not be able to find solutions you could live with. You don't need to finalize anything now. Use this day to lay and gather data. People may seem rather insensitive and erratic, so go with the flow. You have a great deal of warmth and a passion to share. You may find that a strong, unpredictable force is affecting your emotions. Virgo, there is plenty of air to fuel your fire today. You're able to get quite a bit done. Multitasking is key to accomplishing what you want to do. An element of the unexpected is likely to add a surprising dimension to the day. You're able to communicate freely and you will likely be on the same page with the people that you meet. Libra, you may need to make some slight adjustments in order to get through to people today. This pace may be a bit faster than you'd like. Remember that people aren't mind readers. They won't be sensitive enough to pick up on your subtle messages. If you want to get something across, state it clearly and succinctly. Feel free to explore unconventional and bizarre. Scorpio, today is an excellent day for you. You will receive some burst of unexpected energy that help you accomplish whatever it is that you wish to do. You should enjoy a favorable mood and good relations with others all day. Enjoy yourself and feel free to indulge in things that make you happy. Spend time with your family and let them share in your positive energy flow. Sagittarius, things may be moving a bit too quickly today for you to grab hold of anything. There's an element of the unexpected entering into the equation. Be prepared. The mood of the day is especially light and perhaps a bit superficial. People may not be entirely reliable. If there's something that you absolutely need to do, consider doing it by yourself. Capricorn, enjoy the day today, take control of the situation and make the most of whatever comes your way. Do it with a smile. There's a great deal of fun-loving, excited energy ready for you to draw upon it. Get your ideas out to others. Communicate your thoughts. Attend a party or two. You're the epitome of the social butterfly, so make sure to wear your best outfit. Aquarius, your flexible nature may get you in trouble today. Personalities may clash when no one is willing to lead. Be aggressive without being manipulative. Keep it light. Don't try to pin anyone down. Your nature is open and expansive. Give other people the freedom that they want. Unexpected events may dramatically change the course of the day, so don't be upset if things don't go as planned. Pisces, things will flow smoothly for you. There's barely a reason for you to lift a finger. You have the good fortune of enjoying this day with very little effort on your part. Keep in mind that if you decide to get something done, you will be extremely successful and able to accomplish quite a bit. You're in sync with today's energy, so please make use of it. This has been your daily morning horoscope for Thursday, 26th June 2025. Have yourself a great day.
Happy Thursday, guys. Good morning. It's a beautiful day here in the Helen of the West. Of course, it's always a beautiful moment when you rise up and realize you're amongst the living. So that's exactly how I approach it, with gratitude. Every time you see, I say, oh gosh, I make it. Most High, thank you very much. So that's why I say it's a beautiful day. It's always a beautiful day when you're alive. So let's see what our news department has. And when we come back, we've got a very special feature for you today.
Good morning. Time now for the news with me, Timothy Polion. With road fatalities on the rise and major infrastructure upgrades underway, stakeholders from across St. Lucia have united to shape a bold, gender-responsive road safety campaign aimed at changing driver behavior and saving lives. The need for tougher laws is also being highlighted.
So far, our collaboration with the Ministry of Infrastructure, Ports, Transport, Physical Development and Urban Renewal's Project Management Unit team has enabled us to develop a multifaceted road safety awareness campaign that is rooted in community partnerships and characterized by a wide cross-section of stakeholder inputs. As the project coordinator stated, the campaign is very much evidence-based.
The stakeholders come from a variety of sectors, including the Ministry of Education, the police, the private sector, as well as civil society and non-governmental organizations, and the St. Lucia Fire and Emergency Services. Sneaker Day 2025 took a bold step beyond fitness this year, pairing movement with mindful eating. For the first time, a healthy food fair lit up Derek Walker Square, serving up affordable, nutritious local meals and smoothies, all aimed at helping St. Lucians eat better, live longer, and move more.
And we have engaged the national culinary team. We have the celebrity chefs, and they've traveled all over the world and won many awards. And so now their job, their task, I should say, was simply to take products that are very readily available at the market, in your backyard, and to design simple, nutritious, delicious recipes that anybody can stay at home and do. So we've done that. People can come here, purchase their lunch right here at the Derek Walker Square, and grab the recipes and go back home and do it. Then you understand a little more of what you can do to change your health outcome.
Sneaker Day 2025 will also debut the island's first ever Stride for Sustainability Walk on Sunday, encouraging participants to embrace eco-friendly practices while promoting healthier lifestyles. The walk will begin at 6 a.m. The route is from Massey Mega at Shock to Massey Waterfront and back to the starting point. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force, in partnership with the Allied Services Cooperative Credit Union, hosted its 51st annual general meeting on Wednesday. The meeting aimed to address issues affecting progress in the sector and explore new strategies for financial growth.
We continue to face challenges which call for us to continue to unite, show resilience, and plan for a better financial future for our members. I can certainly say to you that our credit union is doing well, and if we just save a little more, we can do much, much better. Sometimes we in the credit union movement seem to forget the core principles and the philosophy of credit unions.
Stakeholders presented ideas on how to maximize returns for credit union members through smart investments. The goal is to build a more sustainable and thriving police credit union and financial sector in the years ahead. Finally, from us this morning, emergency personnel from the St. Lucia Fire Service were called to Mont-du-Don on Monday evening following reports of a shooting. According to officials, the call came in at approximately 9:43 on June the 23rd, 2025. Upon arrival, responders found an adult male lying on his left side inside a residence. He had sustained 2 apparent gunshot wounds to the face. The victim was treated on the scene before being transported to a medical facility for further care. No further details on his condition or the circumstances surrounding the incident have been released. And that's the news. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Join us at noon for our next News Major. My name is Timothy Polio. Good morning.
Thank you very much, News Department. We'll take a break and come back. Well, guys, I don't know if you're aware, or you should be aware, that the month of June marks the Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And we saved this moment because we didn't just want to do a little half something or a little quarter something. We wanted to make sure that we got the right person who can speak with informed information and have done researches is smack down in the field dealing with with men and mental health, to get that sort of sit down, not just to create the awareness, but to throw out some stats and some facts for us as well when it comes to mental health here in St. Lucia and the wider Caribbean as well. Because you know how we normally deal with that. When you hear mental health, there's stigma, there's all sorts of things aligned to it. And we really and truly are on a mission where we're trying to change the narrative when it comes to how it is that we receive the conversation concerning mental health. Now, this gentleman, Mr. Patrick Ferron, was a perfect man. And we had an entire sit down with him. God knows I wanted to spend the entire day sitting, speaking with him. But you know, the show is time framed. So for this morning, all of our features will be definitely dealing just with that and that conversation with Mr. Ferron. Well, we should know. I shouldn't say we all know. I say we should know that June represents Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? I'm here with Patrick. Patrick Ferron is, right up that alley. I mean, you will find out who he is in a minute, but it's very vital for us to have conversations surrounding the topic, because for many years, we've always gone through the same patterns, you know, men and mental health. Well, men and health generally is a challenge. Let alone mental health. So, Mr. Ferron, we are grateful that you've decided to join us. And right up your alley, the best person to be speaking when we're speaking about such topic.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be able to contribute to the discussion. And one of the things that I'm really on fire about is to get men to come to the table and recognize that the issues of mental health, it's an equal opportunity factor. Women, as well as men, equally are exposed to the factors that really impact mental health. The thing is, because of how we have been groomed in society, many men believe if you have to go in for support, or if you have to go in for care, if you have to go in to talk to someone to get you at a better place with respect to mental health, then maybe it's a sign that you're weak. But I want to propose that it really is a sign that you're strong. Because for somebody to admit the need for help, that's stronger than a person who covers it up, hides from reality, suffers in silence, and God forbid sometimes do the unspeakable. Absolutely. So it's good to be on the front lines, being engaged with men, talking about mental health and doing something about it.
Wonderful. No, I think we need to have a whole program, because education, like you said, information and education on the topic is very vital in times like now as well. But what I wanted to zero in on, Mr. Ferron, in terms of the myth, there's a lot of myth as well. As when we hear mental health, automatically we attach a stigma to it. But mental health could range from the simplest of just probably a little stressful moment, you know, that where you have things happening and it is just weighing on your ability to connect and be, you know, you clouded in your judgment. So can you just break down a little bit about mental health? What really is it?
Okay. So here is a starting point. Everybody experiences the stressors of life. Whether you're talking about traumatic events within the family, you're talking about events at work, events in recreational activities, there are things that will bring stress and stressful factors into the lives of individuals. Now, when we're not at a place where we can manage stress properly, then what is going to happen automatically is that the body is going to start to react in ways that are contrary to how the body should be functioning. So, for example, we hear the term psychosomatic illnesses or psychosomatic factors affecting a person. And this is critical to understand because research has now shown that over 40% of persons who turn up in emergency rooms in hospitals, they may not necessarily be dealing with what we call a primary medical condition, but they may be dealing with something that has its root in some unresolved mental conflict going on in the body. And these are issues that until they are cleared up or until they are attended to, they will continue to be problem factors for the person. So let's say, for example, any number of psychosomatic matters may be going on. Uncontrolled, let's say, heart beating out of the norm. It could be a factor where you may have a situation where there is uncontrolled back spasms, or let's say diarrhea that doesn't let up, or constipation that doesn't let up, or things going on in the body, insomnia, people not sleeping. And for some people, they talk about having some kind of heart palpitations and panic attacks, and they feel that they're choking and dying, and they're sure that some great doom is going to become them in no time. And they go to the doctor. They ask the doctor to do every test in the book. They pay big money to get everything done so they get to the bottom of why is my body going through all this. And they may do test after test after test after test, head scans after head scans, and the doctor may still say, we have not found something that we can attribute physically, medically to that. Do you want to go and talk to a counselor, a mental health professional? I have somebody I can refer you to. That person goes, and they realize now that, hey, what was at work is the body, because of dealing with stressful situations, got into that zone where it was not functioning properly. And something that some people hardly think about is this. We know that we have within our system what we call the fight-flight hormones, adrenaline in particular, which is what enables us to do what we have to do without falling asleep. So we think about Juju. Let's say Juju is going to run the 100 or 200 meters. When she's at the on your mark, get set, before that gun goes off, Juju's body would have been flooded with adrenaline and all these fight-flight hormones. But guess what? By the time she gets to the end of the race, everything is used up. Everything did what it was supposed to do. She gets her gold and she's good. Now, think about it carefully. When you and I would have to go through situations, let's say we're living in a stressful home, or we're in a very stressful, toxic work environment, or we're dealing with toxic relationships, what's happening is that all that fight-flight hormone is being flooded into the system. But it's not going anywhere. It's staying in the system, and it is having its way with our organs, and it's starting to impact everything, the nervous system, everything, so that we find ourselves, after our bodies would have been flooded so much, we find ourselves at a place where the body is now out of alignment, out of sync. And what happens, because by then we're so overly sensitized and every nerve is on edge, something like the simple ringing of the telephone. We jump. The door slams. Even situations, a child may just say, Mommy, why are you calling? And the mother may catch herself. But you see, at that stage, we have, back in the old days, they used to talk about you're on the verge of a nervous breakdown. It's like your nerves are shot. Your body cannot absorb any more stress. The body is at a place where, far from functioning how it was created to function, you got the fight-flight hormones to run or to fight the enemy and take care of business, and you're normal, or win the race. But you're not there now. Where you're at now is that your body is just being inundated with all of this fight-flight stuff, and then it becomes toxic for the system. And the system that is going to pay more than anything else is the system we call the nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system. Now, some people actually laugh and say, well, when the sympathetic nervous system actually turns on you, it is not very sympathetic, you know. Absolutely. And when you talk to some people who have been on the receiving end of stress and no outlet and no support services in their lives, they're going through living hell. And it may take the form of whatever flavor that person's personality is. For some people, insomnia kicks in. They're not going to be sleeping. For some people, it's what I refer to like the back spasms and the pain and all kinds of things happening in the body, and persons not really knowing what's happening to them. People think they're going mad. People think they're going to die. We use this term, impending doom. Something bad is going to happen to me. No, I don't know. Maybe it's a heart attack. Maybe it's a stroke. And then the more people get into that zone and start to panic, guess what? More adrenaline, more cortisol, more of everything. So it's getting from bad to worse. Some people then get to that point where they have a total nervous breakdown. And they have to be lifted and carried off away to some asylum somewhere, some place where they can have peace and quiet.
What is your recommendation moving forward in terms of men's approach to mental health? Of course, we've got to keep drumming it, whether they're taking it in or not. Well, I think we've seen a shift in terms of how men actually relate to it, and this is good, a good shift. But to the generalization of how it is that now that we are observing the month, what advice would you give to men? We're focusing on men because it's mental.
Okay, so and that's a great question to put on the table to discuss, because we are in a society where we generally have certain concepts how men should behave. Right? Men must not cry. Men must not show emotions, because if you do, you're a girly imitation. Yes. And nothing is supposed to impact men. And if men are impacted by anything, you're going to you react violent, and you react like a real man. You curse and you chop and you do all kinds of things. So all of these things are in our culture. We have to begin to re-educate our men, and starting from early, from kindergarten stages, where boys recognize that, yes, to be a true male, to be a boy, to be a young man, a lot of things are in the picture, and they do not detract from you being a real man. We say we live in a Western Christian democracy, and we all go to church and people talk about God and Jesus. Well, guess what? Jesus cried. There was a time when you can see in the Gospels where Jesus was in torment, and he actually called for 3 of his closest friends, which is one of the things I advocate strongly for men. Men, we need 2 or 3 close males within our circle, persons we can talk to. We're going through a difficult time, a hard spell. We need to recognize we don't just get together to talk about sports, and whether Darren Sammy is a better captain than this other one, or whether Messi is better than Ronaldo, or whether Manchester United. Men believe that's all men supposed to be talk about. Otherwise, if you go to the real stuff and say, you know what, I'm having a hard time on the job. I'm having a hard time at home. I'm raising 2 girls or 2 boys, and it's not going well at all. I'm at wit's end. Help me. What can you support me with in this time? Because my bills are due. Flo calling me, Lucille calling me, the bank calling me, everybody calling me, and my paycheck can't do anything about it. I'm really low. Men need men to talk to and to be able to express their feelings. So when Jesus was going through that crisis, he called for Peter, James, and John. And James and John were brothers, so it's almost like 2. The twin, you could call them, James and John, and Peter. And Jesus said to them, come, because this is heavy for me. This is heavy stuff. And just be with me. Be beside me. And just your presence in my time of need will be a comfort. Of course, we know the story. They fell asleep, but Jesus was there needing them, and he outlined to us, because Jesus is if you want to find who is the most exemplary male that has ever walked on the earth, it is God in the form of Jesus Christ, when he came and he depicted everything that a man should be. So the concept that males don't cry or males don't feel, or if you express your emotions at yourself, no, we have to remove those things. Then we also have to inculcate into the thinking where a real man is characterized by some of the very things we talk about when we talk about God and love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, and all of these things, which sometimes in the society we almost train our children. Well, the girl needs to be gentle and patient and kind, but the boys need to be rough, go outside and do some real man stuff. We mess up our children because so many, and I'm sure if you go to the Borderley Correctional Facility now, you'll see a number of the males. Let's say we have an inmate population of about 500. Maybe 450 are males. Talk to them and see how many of them actually reflect what we call maleness. Back to the drawing board and starting from early to help males to understand that we're in a system that if we're not functioning in accordance with the basic principles of life that males are supposed to be functioning with, we're going to mess up society. That is what is on the table. And we have to face it. I don't know if you have heard of the Carry Man Project. Dr. Peter Weller, who operates outside of Trinidad, he did some research here in St. Lucia a few years ago. I remember I met him. I actually had a meeting with him. And one of the things he presented in the Carry Man Project is, having gone through the different societies in the Caribbean, he put together the concept in our males as to what is a real man. And it is the same everywhere, whether in Jamaica or in St. Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad, you name it. The concept of what is a real man, it's messed up. In some societies in the Caribbean, a real man have a lot of women. That's how they would say it. Yes, if you're a real man, you must have a lot of women. And I'll tell you, when I was a teenager in Jamaica, they had a guy, he did some reggae song. And even though I can't sing, it goes something like this. Me have 6 baby mother in a one area. And that's how I know I'm a super duper. And it goes on to talk about all, and just imagine, like me as a teenager, listening to that song, and me and my friends and everybody, that's what we were schooled to think. Yeah, a real man, a real super duper can have 6 baby mother in a one area. And if you check it out now, those who followed that doctrine, they may be in prison, they may be dead, and many of the 6 children may not have amounted to success because he can't even care for them. And in some societies, a man is a guy who can hold him juice, meaning he can drink his rum and his beer, and he can hold and he can still walk home or drive home. Drunk driving, right? And a real man is somebody who can keep his woman under control. So the man says this, I want my dinner on the table at 8 o'clock. You make sure you get it there at 8, even though both of them working outside the home and both of them come back tired. But a real man can control his woman and tell. So if you see in this society where there's a relationship, a man-woman relationship, and the woman may suggest something, even though it's the right thing, you may have a man who beat it down and say, well, that didn't come from me. So because, hey, I'm your head, I'm your leader, and I have to be a real man in order to make it work. So we have a lot of concepts in our society that work against being a real man. And they all come back to dovetail into our health, our wellness, our wholeness. And so to a great extent, you'll have situations where the man is, because of the accumulated impact of all that males go through, they're supposed to get the bills paid, but the money is not there. You're supposed to be at work, and if you fall sick and if you tell them that you're sick, then that will be a sign that you're not a real man. So you tough it out, you collapse. And part of what happens in the process is that the mental health needs are not taken care of. We need wholeness. We need a balanced life. We need to be upfront and recognize that in Jamaica we use the term, "me no make out of iron." We're all flesh and blood. Some of us are not made out of steel and wires. We're flesh and blood, and things impact us. When we have traumatic events, traumatic losses, even the concept of losing your job and some people feel they're emasculated because they can't get a job. These things take a toll, they impact. And men have to understand, yes, when these things take a toll, and when our bodies then start to reflect that something is not what it should be and we're being impacted, we need to feel free to go for help and to get the support that we need so that we can head back towards a path of wholeness.
Well, that's quite what, that was a whole schooling right there. Well, wonderful. Well, I hope this was an eye-opener for some or just a reminder for many. But whatever it is you do, it is something that we should pay attention to. Men's wellness, men's mental health. Check on yourselves, gentlemen. And that goes now across the board. All right, have an awesome Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. The weekend is here. And we're looking forward to being back here in your company again. So let's do it again tomorrow.